The Angels of Mons. On August 26, 1914, during the retreat, the British expeditionary force defeated at Mons, France, was overwhelmed by German forces 3 times its size. Disaster loomed on the horizon as a unit of Emperor Frederick Wilhelm's cavalry barred the way for the British. But there was no killing blow. Suddenly, the Germanic horses panicked, rearing up on their hind hooves with quivering nostrils. The German cavalry rushed out, and the British soldiers were able to get to safety. What had stopped the Teutonic swords and terrified the horses? An article published in the London Evening News, a month after the soldiers' miraculous escape from what seemed a hopeless situation, claimed that they had been saved by the appearance of a squadron of angels hovering over their heads. The author of the article was one Arthur Machen, a writer of horror and mystery stories who was a friend of Yeats and Aleister Crowley, all 3 members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the most infamous black magic society of the 20th century. According to Machen's article, the Angels of Mons, when the Germans deployed their forces for the final carnage, they had a vision of a spirit army in the sky, deployed on the side of the British. Even more astounding fact, the angels looked like the British archers of old, with their long bows outstretched and aimed directly at the enemy. The story caused such a sensation in England that Machen eventually admitted that the angels were solely a figment of his vivid imagination. But the story of heavenly saviors intervening on behalf of the Tommies in the trenches refused to die. When the Mons survivors returned home, many of them issued statements corroborating the episode of the archangels. A flood of articles and pamphlets later confirmed the story. The Reverend C.M. Chavas, a military chaplain, said he had heard it firsthand, not only from a general but also from 2 of his officers who had participated in the battle. Despite Machen's denials, the Angels of Mons had taken on a life of its own. Without realizing his actions, perhaps Machen had tapped into the collective unconscious of war-torn England. Undoubtedly, the angels lifted people's spirits in the hardest moments of the war, when England's best men were being slaughtered on the battlefields of France. In the end, the trick, if that was what it was, worked. The British and their allies emerged victorious. The angels had lined up on the winning side after all.